How to get over one-itis, volume and experience. Let's start with volume. So how does volume help you get over one-itis? Well, by the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of it and why it's actually not as bad of a thing as you might think it is. So volume, right? Getting more leads, getting more approaches in, doing more swiping, getting your dating apps optimized, right? So this way you can start bringing in more potential dates. And therefore what happens is that, let's say you have a girl that flakes on you, for example. So one of our recent clients, he just started with us here in Mexico City. Shout out if you know who you are. He's gone out for a cold approach session. He's had a session with Jaron for the online stuff, and we're gonna have his photo shoot this week. He went out the other night and did some cold approach, and he got a number that was probably the best number he's ever got. She was like a 10 out of 10 in his book. And he showed me she was smoking. Fit, tall, really nice Instagram, all that stuff. So what he did though is he got a little too excited, right? He was like, wow, this is the best thing since sliced bread and I need to lock this down, right? So he was a little too needy and a little too urgent to set up the date. He kind of texted her the next day, hey, I'm free this afternoon, and kind of left it at that. Versus like what we suggest is setting the dates, further along in advance, like maybe the following week or something. Because really, and this is what Casey Zander teaches, if you haven't watched his stuff, man, I don't know him, so he's not giving us any credit for this, but I do have to shout him out because he's helped me a lot. It's the idea of interest tests. So in the space here, you hear shit tests, right? And I think that's a fair assumption. There's another side of this, which is interest tests. And women are inherently seeing how into them you are. From that information, they'll choose whether to want to date you or not. And this is counterintuitive to what most guys have been brought up to believe. Women don't want you to be super into them. They don't want you obsessing over them, super available, always wanting to hang out. Versus with guys, it's like, yo, I'm free. Yo, dope, let's kick it, right? It's not quite like that with women, unless maybe you're going for, the same day hookups, or you've been dating for a while and you have that more casual kind of, hey, come over, that kind of vibe. But until then, you need to show that you have other things going on, that you have a life, that you have a job, that you have other friends, that you're ideally dating other women. And although they can never see into your DMs, they'll never know exactly who you're talking to, the energy you give off can really just kind of demonstrate that, hey, I have other women I'm seeing, right? And a way that comes across is by not being too available. So coming back to one-itis here, when you have other options, when that girl rejects you or doesn't want to set up a date or whatever, you really don't care. You just kind of move on to the next one. This might sound like the M word, right? But think about it with your guys. Like you're hitting up a bunch of buddies and one doesn't respond, but you hit up 4 other buddies. You don't really care if the other buddy didn't hit you up because, you hit up 4 others and you're probably going to have a hangout with at least some of them. So the same with women. When you have 4 other date opportunities, that one girl that says I'm not available, you're like, oh, that's okay, no worries. Like I'll just ask another one, right? And something is gonna most likely come through. So with this guy, because he didn't have enough volume, he got really attached to the idea of going on a date with this girl, right? It kind of became the center of his focus of his world. And because of it, he acted a little too urgent, a little too excited, and she did not set up the date with him and kind of blanked him. Now, had he had more volume, which is what he's going to be getting here very soon as he builds his Instagram, he builds his dating funnel. Again, we have a photo shoot package, which you can reach out to us if you're in Mexico City. We take you out, we show you some of the hot spots in Mexico. And then we have one of our friends named Alejandro, and he'll be part of the business soon. He edits the photos and he's going to make them very Instagram quality and Instagram worthy. So send us a DM on Instagram for that. In terms of this new client though, once he starts to get some volume in, he's not going to care if one girl slips through the cracks. And I found this the other day. I did a cold approach that was really good, and she was like my type, like 100%. And she followed me right away. I messaged her our opener line, which you can, again, hop in our community, which I'll be talking about in a little bit here to learn more about that. And I did my opening line. She responded like super enthusiastically, 3 messages, which is good. You want like her texting you more than you're texting her. You don't want to be double texting and stuff like that. Basically, I said, are you behaving well? She said, haha, see. And I said, let's change that when you're free. And I didn't hear anything back. She didn't even open the message. And I felt a little sting for a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I was like, dang, that sucks. Like, I was really excited to see her. And then I opened my Bumble, got a bunch of girls that had liked me. I have some other girls that I'm talking to. Boom, those came through. I had a date yesterday and it was just like, okay, you know what? I completely forgot about her. And actually, the only time I remember is when I'm going through messages and I see her and I'm just like, oh, that girl, right? You just kind of forget. And remembering too, like, guys, don't take it personal. It might be because you were too needy and too anxious. So you want to look at that objectively and be like, okay, did I mess up in this situation? And you can realize at the same time, okay, if she really liked me, she would have come through and set up a date. This is something that you'll see once you guys start getting out there and dating and you have that, what they call genuine burning desire, where, you can really about say anything that isn't like offensive. And sometimes even you can say offensive stuff. and they're going to want to see you because they like you and they're that attracted to you and they're that available in their cycle, time of the month, just in their relationship journey themselves. And you'll find that these girls, they make it very easy for you to see them. And that's ideally what we want, right? But not every girl is going to be like that. So you can kind of remember that, hey, if a girl, if I thought I had a really good interaction with her and it didn't go anywhere, maybe it's something on her end. Maybe she had a boyfriend. Maybe she just got out of a relationship. There's a million things that could be that have nothing to do with you. And again, girls are not going to be as direct. It's not a feminine quality. So they are going to usually do passive aggressive stuff like blank you and not respond to you, versus like guys, we'd be a little more direct and upfront. So remember, guys, don't take it personal if you're getting one-itis and a girl's blanking you. Speaking of one-itis, coming back to the whole thing, when you have those options, the one-itis, it just doesn't matter. You're just kind of like, so be it. Life is going to go on and I'm going to find other options, right? So now to the second part of this video, experience. How does experience play into letting go of one-itis? Well, a couple things, right? You're going to have a new mindset where you can realize like, hey, right? Like I just said, it's not personal. There's a million things that could be going on that have nothing to do with me. Two, you know that, hey, I can go out there and find a new date potentially within the matter of minutes with cold approach. One of the best skills I think a guy can ever learn in his life is cold approach. Just being able to go up to a complete stranger out of nothing, create a connection, possibly have a date. It's going to change your life more than maybe you could even possibly imagine. I know it did for me. My mentor, I have a mentor, of course, I practice what I preach. So if I'm going to be coaching, I'm going to be getting coached. And great friend of mine, you'll meet him eventually. He's going to be our relationship guy. So eventually, if you do get a girlfriend through working with Mexpat Dating, he'll be able to help you retain her and keep her. He's about 48. He's done over 4,000 approaches. He's got a wife. He's got kids. He's got a house. He did the whole Thailand journey. So he's doing very well for himself, Australian guy. And he'll really help you kind of, it's something to look forward to. So like after you guys work with us, you're not going to be left out in the dark, especially if you find a girlfriend. You're going to have this guy to be able to mentor you through your relationship and be able to retain her and speak womanese, as we like to call it. So he would always tell me like, Joel, just keep doing your approaches. Like, I know it sucks, because I would have a call with him and be like, man, like I got rejected a ton or something like that, or it just ain't working. I'm not getting dates. And he'd be like, just keep doing this. And he kept telling me like, this is going to pay off more than just dating. You're going to get better at just socializing in general. You're going to build a network of people, because cold approach is something that so few men ever do. It's quite scary, to be honest, when you're first starting. It's very primal as well. It's something that, society does not want you to do. It's something that, back in the day, unless you were like King Alpha and could hunt and kill a freaking like mammoth or something, like you were not getting any access to the women in the village. Now you're able to go up there. So it is a very kind of, I guess, in the history of humankind, it's a newer skill, right? But in the spectrum of animals in general, it's a very common skill, right? Usually the male goes and approaches the female. If you ever see ducks courting or like some bird out in the wild, like, they kind of like peacock, right? Peacocks. The guy flashes his feathers and tries to attract the mate. And essentially, well, that's what we're doing here. So it's because of technology, because of the internet, because of all this, toxic stuff, because of the fan sites, a lot of guys have gotten comfortable with this idea that I can just open my computer and find sex, basically. I mean, this is about as primal as you can get. Like, I'm going to walk outside, I'm going to expose myself to the elements and go up to this girl in front of other people and risk her saying, basically, piss off. I've never had that happen. You usually don't get, especially here in Mexico, you don't get rude, disqualifications or whatever. But you get what I'm saying. Like, it is a very simple yet difficult skill to begin doing. Once you get into the flow of things, and some of our clients are experiencing this now, they're just like, wow, like this actually is really enjoyable. This is fun. Girls are talking to me. I can have a connection in the middle of freaking the park. Like, it's amazing. So once you have that experience, coming full circle here, you're going to be a lot less triggered by all these like little nuances that happen in dating, all the little annoyances. You realize it's just a part of the game, right? You can't have the wins without having a few losses. And eventually the losses are just kind of like, okay, whatever. Like, because what we teach you is how to optimize your dating, I guess, life so efficiently, where it's not like you're spending hours and days talking to this girl. You send a few texts, and if she bites, she bites. And if not, you let her go. And that's the power of experience, right? Once you have that experience, you're going to be able to look at this from a more mature lens and really be able to be more in control of your emotions. And the emotions, especially that say like, oh, text her right away. Oh, like, oh my God, like you need to reach out to her right now. Like, oh, you can't wait 5 hours to text her. You need to do this now. It's something I struggle with crazy, guys. This was probably my biggest struggle in dating, was the one-itis. I would meet a girl and she would be like my ticket to the moon, right? And very quickly, it would not be that case. And there's so many nights of agony because I didn't realize, like, I didn't have the proper training, and I didn't realize that, how to be patient. I didn't realize how to space things and how to time texting, right? Because what I believe personally is that dates are won and lost in text. Obviously, you have to have a good approach and stuff. And, again, if she really likes you, she'll go out with you, kind of no matter if you even just say, hey, let's grab coffee. But in terms of the amount of dates I've lost because I've texted incorrectly or texted too soon or texted blah, 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 has been quite painful. And that's why I wanted to make this video, because I know one-itis so well. And I've really had to work internally to have that discipline to not act on the emotions, not act on the desire and the compulsion, really. It's almost a compulsion to chase, get it right now. I need her now, right? And having done that for a long time, it has really panned out. And now I do not have that. I'll get a little bit, like sometimes I'm like, I would like to text her ideally, but it's just like, I don't even do it anymore because I know the pain that's going to come if I do. I'd rather wait a few hours to a day and a half than risk ruining a potential opportunity. We have our dating course, which is something that we made a long time ago. We just didn't really put the proper time into marketing it. So that is now available, and you can hit the link down below to check it out. It's going to be $597, and it has over 10 hours of content that you are going to be able to, that's going to help you build your digital seduction system. It starts with mindset, and then it's going to teach you about how to set up your online dating profiles correctly, including Instagram, which you need for cold approach. I know once I started getting my Instagram together, my cold approach took off because they actually had something to follow, and they could follow my life and my stories, etc., like that. So you do need both. And this course teaches you exactly how to do all that from A to Z. It's very comprehensive. It'll take you a few days to go through, but it'll be worth it. And then you can start implementing things right away. So if you do have any questions particularly on it and like what else it pertains, you can hit us up on Instagram at MexPatDating, and we can kind of walk you through it a little bit more. What's great about the course too is that you're going to be able to do it on your own time. So a lot of you guys are busy, you have high level jobs. You can't really be putzing around all day. So this is something that you're going to be able to do on your drive to work, at the gym, really just kind of process through it at your own time. And if you are ready, you can reach out to us personally to work with us so we can help you put this in the full spectrum. But for now, the course in itself, I think can get you a long ways, and it's going to be something that can fit your lifestyle again. Other than that, let us know if you've dealt with one-itis before. We get it. It's a painful thing, but it's a great opportunity for growth and to become a better version. So you don't have to feel that one-itis again. You might in little ways, but each time you feel it, you're going to want to address it and tackle it at its core. You're going to be even more attracted to women, because what is the number one repellent to women? Neediness. Other than that, guys, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.